Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Letting your children know you believe in them will go a long way toward making their dreams a reality. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's important to celebrate learning, focus on the positives, reinforce good effort and determination. Children need your encouragement and support. Our public schools want every student to succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, has the largest selection of late model equipment in the Midwest. And for a limited time, Acres is offering low-rate financing on all 2021 and 2022 S and X Series combines and 8 Series tractors. Qualified buyers can earn 3.9% financing for 60 months. And as an added bonus for your holiday season, if you purchase one of Acres' eligible machines before December 31st, you'll get a $5,000 gift card from Shields. Go to acres.com to learn more.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome back into the Daily Nebraska Show. We're back once again. Joseph is here with me this time. Anthony was on yesterday. Yes, Joseph's here, the senior sports editor at the Daily Nebraskan. I'm once again Ben Droz, one of the sports writers. at the Daily Nebraskan. Joseph, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thursday night, last night of the week of our first official week of running this show. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
So a little bittersweet that our first week is coming to an end, but I'm excited for today's episode. We've got a lot to dive into. A big basketball Saturday coming up.
Yep.
And a little talk about a new head coach.
Ooh. I wonder
coming
who
up later on. It's a big name. I don't know if you saw that or not.
You might have heard him.
You might have heard of him. You may have seen him on the opposing sideline at Nebraska games.
Might have seen him in the national championship.
You might have seen him there as well.
Maybe.
So we'll dive into that. Jim Harbaugh, if you weren't following or living under a rock, we'll dive into that later as well. A couple other things we want to dive into today, but starting it off with basketball talk here in this first segment. It's going to be a big game both for Nebraska men's basketball and Nebraska women's basketball, who plays Iowa on Saturday as well. So overall, fun sports weekend, plus NFL playoffs on Sunday too.
Yep.
So I'm so excited to just sit down on the couch and watch sports all weekend, as I always do.
Oh yeah, every weekend. There's nothing else you can do when you're in this line of business. That's all you get to do is just sit on the couch and watch, and it's amazing. So yeah, since we don't have a show Friday night. Definitely we're gonna preview the Saturday games.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a couple days early. Hoiberg's gonna have his press conference tomorrow morning. We'll see if Gary's good to go. I think he's still questionable, is last I saw, but they played Ohio State. It's been a decent break.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays, but I'm not necessarily expecting him to. So Hoiberg I'm sure he'll fill us in.
Probably the first thing he says.
Probably. And they're just doing like a quick scrum before they leave. So it's not a full official press conference.
Okay.
So a little less formal. So maybe he'll add some more stuff that we don't normally get from him, but that'll come out. We'll have some coverage on that tomorrow morning as well. But this Maryland game, a road test. It's got to be the time you get it done, though.
It has to be. It's been you haven't done it yet this season. A conference road win. We don't have it yet. That's
1-4 on the road. Only win was at Kansas State.
Which that was a good win.
Good win. Can't put, that's a good environment to play in.
Mm-hmm. We got crushed by them last year.
Yeah.
On the road.
So it was a good win, but 0-4 in the conference on the road. That's been a struggle. This is a great opportunity to get it right before a brutal stretch where you get Wisconsin at home. We know how they've been playing, one of the best teams in the Big Ten. Then you go to Illinois. Travel to Illinois. You stay there, I assume, for Illinois and Northwestern, both tournament teams as of now, according to bracketology. So Northwestern just beat them the other night. So this is, in my opinion, as much of a must win on the road as it gets. You got to get right with this struggle that they've had. And Maryland's not a bad team. They've just kind of, it's just been a disappointing season up to this point for them.
Yeah.
They had high expectations coming into the year. They've got some pretty solid players that we'll touch on in a little bit. Just a bit of a strange season for them. Not what they've expected at all. Ups and downs, but this is a team that can compete with anyone. They just haven't been able to pull off close wins. So I'm excited to see what they're able to do against Maryland, because it's a game in theory they should win, but Maryland, 9-2 at home at the Xfinity Center. That does not bode well for a team that's been struggling on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I very rarely say a road game is a must win. If they lose this game, Nebraska's still very much in the NCAA or tournament, in the realm of that. Not a game you necessarily have to get, but it'd just be so nice to get.
I'd just say for momentum going forward, for your confidence, knowing you're able to get it done on the road, now is the time to do it. Now,
yes,
there are winnable games, further down the line.
Yeah.
You don't want to go 0-4 over the next 4.
Yeah. I mean, yes, for a confidence thing, yes, it'd be really nice to get it. But I'm saying, for the season outlook.
Yes, for the tournament hopes, no.
Season outlook, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it'd look a lot better if we can get some road wins. Definitely help the chances of, continuing to play into March. But, I mean, again, this will be a tough game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's talk about Maryland. Kind of a weird month for them. So, back at the beginning of January, they lose to Minnesota by 3, who Minnesota's been falling off as of late, but at the time they were, ascending up the Big Ten ranks.
Yeah.
But then a week later, they go on the road and beat Illinois by 9. So all of a sudden, it's like you lose to Minnesota, but you beat Illinois. That's kind of a big swing.
Mm-hmm.
Then last week, 2 one-score losses, comes down to the very end, chances to win both of them at the end against Northwestern and Michigan State. That's kind of been the difference between Nebraska and Maryland this year. Nebraska's found a way to beat those teams like Northwestern, Michigan State, not Minnesota. But when it comes down to the end, Nebraska's just made the plays that they've had to get it done, and Maryland has not been able to. Their star guard, Jameer Young, who's in his 6th year now. 6th year.
Yeah.
Long time. Spent time at Charlotte. He had chances in both of those to win the game late. Missed a step back jumper against Northwestern, kind of the top of the key, clanked off the back of the rim. Then he had pretty ugly turnover against Michigan State. He was in a fast break with 5 seconds left. They opted not to go for the timeout, turns it over. Michigan State grabs the ball and gets the win. Both of those games they could have easily won.
Mm-hmm.
And then they turned it around yesterday on Wednesday and beat Iowa. And third time's the charm for Jameer Young.
Yeah.
He blazes by Iowa defender, goes right to the rim, blows by him, lays it in, 1 second left. They win the game. So very up and down, like I said. This team is capable of beating anyone. We've seen them beat Illinois. We've seen them take Michigan State and Northwestern to the wire and beat an Iowa team that Nebraska was not able to beat. So by no means is this a, tough opponent in that sense, but you cannot overlook them, especially on the road.
I mean, yeah. And that's one thing, the close losses with Maryland, that's kind of been a question of can they close out some of these closer games? Maryland's kind of had a tough time, I feel like, closing out some of these really close conference games. And Nebraska, despite, we have 5 losses on the season, 4 of those losses, when Nebraska loses, it's like not close. Besides the Rutgers game. That's
besides
kind of
the Rutgers game, which again,
I don't want to talk
that
about
one
it.
out.
Don't want to talk
But yeah,
about
it's
it.
like you get blown out of the gym.
Yeah, get blown out by Creighton. Minnesota.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about that one.
That was not a close game
no,
at the end.
At the end, no.
Ugly second half.
Yeah, Wisconsin, we got shot out of the gym. Iowa, shot out of the gym.
Yeah. Which I'll touch on in a bit, but I don't think Maryland's a team that can shoot lights out against you and beat you that way.
Yeah.
I think this game is going to come down to the end if Maryland's going to do it. So Nebraska's got to have that foot on the gas mentality of we just got to get out to a big lead and not let them, keep it close with us, because they're not a great offensive team, very good defensive team, which we'll touch on in a bit. But yeah, 12-8 overall, 9-2 at home. They're pretty squarely outside of that NCAA tournament field right now. So they need a big run. This could be, beat Iowa on the road, granted in a really bad environment. I don't know if you saw that. Iowa had like 4,000 fans, not even probably.
No, I didn't.
It was like probably 2,000 fans at their men's game the other night.
I try to not watch Iowa.
Yeah. Now they sell out the women's side, so maybe people are just more willing to buy tickets for that.
For good reason.
For very good reason. Then they get Nebraska this weekend, so that's probably another good reason to buy tickets. But yeah, they're outside of the NCAA tournament field, but they beat Iowa. They come back home. Nebraska's got to travel across the country. 11 a.m. tip. I guess it would be noon there, but early game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a chance for them to build some momentum and try to sneak their way back into that bubble conversation.
Yeah.
66 in Ken Palm, but only 92 in the net. So not often you see a lot of variance in those two metrics, but Maryland's pretty squarely outside of the NCAA tournament field. So Nebraska's going to be favored in this one. It's a game they should have. Again, we've gone over this many times. Should have had that Rutgers game.
Yep.
Probably should have had the Iowa game, but
definitely should have had the Minnesota game.
Definitely should have on the road. So just because the Nebraska should win this game, it doesn't mean they necessarily will.
I mean, yeah, I am not going to I'm not going to say I'm super confident about winning this game. It's definitely, because Nebraska's going on the road, it's just always a toss-up. It's going to be a toss-up. The key to winning, though, is shutting down one man.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes by, and his name is Jameer Young, averaging 20.8 points a game so far this season. He's just been on a tear.
He is their offense.
Pretty much.
And
if I'm looking at this, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching some of his tape earlier. He's so shifty. Such quick footwork. Very entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple times he just blows right past you to the rim. And when he's cooking, he is on. This guy, and he opens up the floor so much because he attracts so much attention. He's got that ability to drive to the rim, throw it down, but also a solid 3-point shooter, shooting 35% from deep this season, only 44% from the field. But again, a lot of the, just controlling the offense, distributing the ball. About all the production they really get from the guard position. There's a couple other guys that are, in that 6-7 points a game range, but 21 for him. He is their identity, veteran player, veteran leader, quick, shifty, great footwork. He's the guy that you're going to need to shut down. And,
easier said than done.
Right. Exactly. And so clear cut number one scorer. I'm concerned about how they defend him, but Nebraska has been able to shut down most times this season. They've been able to shut down that number one option outside of the games that they got blown out clearly. So I like their odds to do it. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Sam Hoiberg in this game, get really scrappy, really physical with him, quick footwork, trying to take the ball away from, stay in front of him. You can't have anyone slow on him because he will blow right past you. I saw it against Iowa, just goes straight to the rim, no chance to stop him.
That's the one thing. So I feel like this is a game where Alec is really going to be needed because I don't feel like Most is going to be quick enough. If Young beats his guy on the dribble, I feel like Alec is going to be better, coming over to help than Most. I feel like Most is kind of just going to be like, I feel like he might get into foul trouble, just because he's going to be a little bit slower. Alec is a little bit more athletic. I feel like this is a game where Alec is really like, Hoiberg's really going to have to scheme for how they're going to shut him down. And I feel like having Alec coming over to help a lot would be a really good thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to getting Gary back in this game would be huge.
It would be huge.
They're going to have their hands full because, Young is pretty much all of the offense from the guard position, but inside they got Julian Reese and Donta Scott.
Both averaging double digits points.
These guys are two very, very different players, but they both are very good at what they do. So Reese is, 6'9", 230, averaging 9.8 rebounds on the season, only behind Edey in the Big Ten. So second in the Big Ten, who, by the way, completely stifled Reese when they played. Reese had 0 points when Maryland played Purdue. So a really rough night for him. Yeah, rebounding machine. He's lengthy, can throw it down. He's got some oomph when there are a couple alley-oops over the last couple games where he's just thrown it down. And that is a big concern for Mass. But we've seen him play well against Edey. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mass is very occupied with Reese in this game.
Yeah.
Not letting him, be that guy. He's averaging 14 points per game while not really being, the biggest scorer guy, 2.5 blocks a game. So that's another cause for concern there. So he's not like Mass, though, where he can pop out and stretch the floor. Hasn't attempted a three-pointer all season. The guy who does that is Donta Scott, Maryland's other big option. So he's more of the stretch the floor guy, get out wide. He's actually really strong from three, shooting 39%.
Yeah.
From the forward position. So he's got the capability to do what Mass did the other night. I don't think we want to see that happen.
No.
On the other end of the floor.
No. Yeah. I mean, Mass. I feel like the Edey matchup was just kind of perfect for Mass because Edey's not, I feel like Edey kind of plays, like he's kind of a slow pace player, kind of like Moss. I feel like they both play very similarly. So Moss is able to, stay in his lane, be able to play his game, wasn't forced to, be anybody else. In this game, that might change a little bit.
Reese is definitely more of a bouncy guy, likes to get up high on the rim and really use his length to his advantage.
Yeah.
I still like Mass odds too.
I think he should have a good game.
I'm not too concerned just with the lack of shooting that Maryland has from the outside. I'm not too concerned there. This Terrapins team's built on defense. Like they're only allowing 64 points per game. So they are a defensive minded team, one of the best in the country, the best defensive team, allowing points wise in the Big Ten. Their offense is significantly worse than Nebraska's, though, only averaging 70 points per game. Not great at shooting the three. So, 29% from deep. That's worse in the Big Ten. It's not going to be a team like Creighton, Iowa, Wisconsin that just shoots the lights out.
That's the difference, I feel like, in this game is that this is kind of one of the first road games we've had this year where I don't feel like we're going to get shot out of the gym. It's going to be, if we lose, it's just going to have to be a game like Rutgers where we just are, we're just awful across the board.
Now, the concern is Rutgers is similarly bad from three, and they went way over their expected 3 points shot.
That's what I'm saying. So if we do lose this game, it's going to be in Rutgers fashion. It's not going to be, like Wisconsin or Iowa. It's going to be, a game like Rutgers where you're going to be thinking about shutting off the TV, but you just can't because it's Husker basketball. Yeah. And even though you know what's probably going to happen, you still watch.
100%.
You still watch because you have to.
Yeah. I'd say Dante Scott's definitely the X factor for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
He's hit 4 threes twice this season, so he's got that potential to do that. Multiple 3-pointers over the last 3 games. So that's who I'm concerned with if I'm Nebraska. Similar to a Mason Gillis type player where not the main option, but a guy that could go off like he did against Purdue, behind the arc and really kept Purdue in that game for most of it. Scott's averaging 11 points per game, 5 rebounds, whereas Reese's rebounding ability draws a lot of attention down low.
Yeah.
It allows Scott to kind of pop out, get outside the arc, and get some open looks when you're obviously, your first, you're looking at Young, as your first option. All your attention's going to him. I wouldn't be surprised if there's opportunities for Scott to kind of pop out, get outside the arc, and gets knocked down some open threes. Really, the only other big shooting guy that I would watch for is Jahari Long.
Yeah.
He's a senior guard, only averaging 5 points per game, but he really only shoots it from deep. 5 threes in total over the last 2 games. So if he shoots, he's shooting a 3, and a lot of the times it's going in. Pretty much only shoots that deep ball, and he's kind of that guy that just sits in the corner and waits for a 3.
Yeah. I mean, defending the 3-point line was kind of one of my issues with Nebraska earlier in the year. But, I mean, when I'm looking at the 3-point percentages of this team, there's just not that many shooters on Maryland's team. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys that you can sag off on. Even if they have a guy shooting 32% from 3-point line, you might leave him open to not let Young get a wide open shot.
They're going to hit a few, but as long as you can shut down Young, because he's had some rough performances. Started really poorly against Iowa actually, and ended up heating up later down the stretch. I believe he started like 1 for 6 or 1 for 5 against Iowa. So a slow start for him. Ended up ramping it back up, but that's definitely gonna be priority number 1 for Nebraska. They've got Mass down low to deal with Reese. I don't know outside of Hoiberg if they have that quick, fast-footed defender to necessarily take Young out of the game completely.
I think this is why I was again saying I feel like Alec is going to be really big for coming over and help because I don't think we have a guy that can face guard and keep him in front of him.
Yeah,
I feel like Young's going to get a lot of driving opportunities, so there's going to need to be, and especially because this isn't a very good 3-point shooting Maryland team, we're going to be able to sag off a little bit more to help when Young does penetrate down low. Who's your X factor for Nebraska on offense? Who do you think is going to need a big game for Nebraska to win this? Because it's been Moss. We've seen Moss do it. Seen Tominaga do it. Against Northwestern, it was Alec. CJ Wilcher's had some good games.
I want to go back to Wilcher, honestly. I think his the extra juice he brings has been so key in some of these games. And I want to believe that Nebraska's not going to let the road struggles get to their head, but it's certainly possible they do. If Tominaga's not shooting well, you're going to need that other guy, like we saw the other night. It's Wilcher. So I'm going to go Wilcher in this one. If Gary plays, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But we'll just assume for now that Gary's not going to go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to say Casey because if he gets going, I'm very
He's
confident
always
we win.
the X factor.
Yeah.
If he goes off, they're going to win.
But if I'm not saying Casey, I really want to see Hoiberg have I want to see him have a really good offensive performance.
I like it.
Because he's been really good from the 3-point line. I just feel like he just hasn't been taking that many shots these past few games, I feel like. I mean, you saw it in the Rutgers game. He didn't have a single point the entire regulation. And then in overtime, he just hits 2 threes. Then when I was watching that game, I was like,
see more opportunities.
I was like, why was he not shooting during the regulation? Like, your dad is the head coach. Usually when your dad's the head coach, sometimes you get the ball a little bit more than you should. But in this
I don't think we want to go that far.
Well, I know, but I'm saying usually, when the coach's son, they're like, everyone complains, oh, he gets the ball too much. This way, we're like, get him the ball more. We want to see him shoot the ball more. I mean, he's been good from the three-point line. He's good on defense. Why not?
I like it. I think he'll be a big key on how this game script goes. I'll say I think it's more likely Nebraska wins by double digits than they lose by double digits.
Oh yeah. I don't think Maryland's a team.
The 3-point shooting, if the 3-point shooting's on, I think they win this game handily.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, outside of Tominaga, because you could say that every single week, is going to be Wilcher, is going to be Hoiberg. Is Williams having a good night from 3? We're not going to see assume we won't see another 6 of 8 game from Mast. So, Maryland's not great against the 3. They're not as bad as they are offensively from behind the arc, but still not great. Only 9th in the Big Ten, allowing 33%. So definitely opportunities are going to arise for Nebraska to get off some shots. We know they love to shoot the ball. It's just a matter of fact if they go in. So like I said, Wilcher is going to be big in this one. Agree with 100% with you there. Hoiberg, getting more opportunities for him and seeing what they can do from behind the arc. You do not want to get in a situation where this game is close going down to the wire, because Maryland's had the ball roll against them a couple times here over the last week.
It's bound to go their way.
And it's bound to go their way, especially against Nebraska on the road.
Yeah.
At noon.
It's always bound to not go Nebraska's way. That's kind of just ever since I've been watching Nebraska sports, that's what it feels like. But we're going to have to throw it to break. Again, the text line is open, 402-464-5685. Text in your thoughts or questions. We will get to them. Also looking at the streams. You can comment on the streams, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. But with that, we're going to be right back right after this break.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Bagels & Joe is celebrating 31 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels & Joe, celebrating 31 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G2076684.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing the court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we believe in treating every person with respect, compassion, and understanding. When legal troubles are keeping you up, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. To learn more, call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella. Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator. Buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the chocolate season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock. A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, and welcome back to the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Again, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. We're on now 961. Again, I'm Ben Droz, one of the writers at the Daily Nebraskan, joined here still by Joseph Meyer, the senior sports editor at the Daily Nebraskan. So we talked men's basketball, previewed the game coming up on Saturday, but there's another Husker basketball game on Saturday, and it's a pretty big one. For the women's side, they play Iowa.
Yeah. I mean, it's at this point, it's arguably bigger headlines.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of coverage this week. I guess it goes back to last week as well with, teams selling out their stadium when Caitlin Clark comes to town. And that is what is going to happen this weekend. And I'm just so impressed by Iowa's fan base's ability to fully support the women's basketball team and not support the men's basketball team at all.
It's like the only school that does
It's
that.
shocking and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like no wonder they support Caitlin Clark and that amazing team.
She's special.
And I don't know. Their men's team's not terrible, but yeah, another big one this weekend, Nebraska, Iowa. It's the rivalry matchup. Don't give Nebraska a big chance in this one, to be completely frank with you. And, maybe later in February where Nebraska gets them at home, and they'll certainly sell that thing out. Then they might have a chance. I believe that's Super Bowl Sunday, actually, that they get them here.
If it's Super Bowl Sunday, if it's at the same time, I probably wouldn't be watching that then.
It's not. I believe it's at noon and then the Super Bowl's later.
Okay, good.
So there's a full day of sports to watch.
Good. I was a little worried.
But they play at Iowa. It's going to be sold out there. I don't give them a great chance here. So I'm doing this video project right now for my internship at Huddle, where I take Caitlin Clark's high school highlights and track them over a voiceover and edit it all together. I'm not even impressed by a step back 3 from 35 feet anymore, Ben.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Steph Curry, where it's like,
Right, but that's Steph Curry. I'm watching high school Caitlin Clark, ninth grade Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and she's doing it.
Cross up a defender, step back, 35 feet out, basically from half court, and drain it. It's insane. My brain has gone numb to it at this point. So if I watch this game and she puts up 40, I won't be surprised. Now, Nebraska women's basketball, I know you got the chance to cover them last year. Not the season they would have loved. Dealt with some injuries.
Yeah,
a lot of expectations, dealt with injuries. This season, not nearly as high of expectations, and at least from my view.
And they're just as good, in my opinion.
And they're better, and they're in the field of 64 right now. I think the last time I checked, it was like a 9 seed, opportunity. Now it's a little different in women's basketball. I saw they were going to play South Carolina. If the tournament was today, they would play South Carolina second round. I don't think they're beating South Carolina. That's the downfall of women's basketball. The powerhouses are powerhouses.
Yeah.
And Iowa is one of those powerhouses.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I believe the road game was closer against Iowa than the home game against Iowa.
The home game against Iowa was bad.
Yeah.
They got blown out of the gym.
Yeah, the road game was actually like we were leading in the third quarter, I believe, and then it kind of just fell apart at the end. I remember watching that at home, but that one was a tough loss. The home game was just disappointing. They pretty much sold out PBA. It was jam-packed, and then it kind of felt like the Creighton game, this year for men's basketball, where it's just like it was so hyped, and then this didn't live up to the expectations. It was still, I always enjoy watching Caitlin Clark. I don't care if she tears up, my favorite team. It's Caitlin Clark. She's fun to watch, but yeah, I mean, it's always tough. I mean, Caitlin Clark is just so far and above away, like the top talent in this game. Like, I mean, Caitlin Clark's averaging, when I look, 31.7 points a game. Our highest is 16.6 with Alexis Markowski. Like, she's averaging double our top guy.
Yeah, it's a, I wouldn't say a one-man show, but like she is the identity of that team, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see this one this weekend, and just see how Nebraska matches up, because again, like you don't get another test like this until potentially the NCAA tournament. The only other ranked team they have left is Ohio State, other than Iowa again. So they get 2 cracks at them, but you're not playing a number 1 seed at all. So this is a chance to really see what you're made of. I think Nebraska's pretty squarely in the NCAA tournament at this point.
Yeah.
Barring a total collapse. 2 games against Iowa and then 1 against Ohio State is tough. But even if you manage to lose all those, which they'll be, underdogs in all of them, there's still a lot of winnable games down the stretch for them to cash in and feel good before they get into the Big Ten tournament.
I mean, yeah, this game isn't really gonna. I mean, a loss isn't gonna really hurt Nebraska that much. A win would really help. So, I mean, this is kind of. I mean, the one thing that gives me a little bit of confidence about this is like I feel like Nebraska's got nothing to lose in this game. I mean, everyone's expecting you to get blown out. If you go out there, even if you just make it a game, it would still put you on the map because it's Iowa. It's Caitlin Clark. Jazz Shelley's going to need she's going to need a big game. But again, brings me back to, man, it'd be really nice if they had Allison Weiner right now.
Yeah.
Because she's the best guard defender on the team, but she's out for the year.
Yeah, that was I was so just devastated for her when I saw that news. Yeah. And I know that broke a long time ago, but again, you just felt like this was the year that she was really going to finally come into her own after dealing with some injuries and yet another one.
She was showing it last year too, what she meant to this team. When Weiner went down, that's when Nebraska started going downhill. Because I mean, we were still right by the rank. I mean, we weren't ranked, but we were right on the edge. We were getting votes. The team was, and then Weiner goes down, and it just kind of the season kind of fell apart. They kind of brought it back towards the end, made a little bit of an WNIT run.
Yeah.
So I mean, now it was a good end of the season, nice little run. But I mean, the Weiner injury it set the team back like a whole month, and you just can't afford that when you're trying to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. So in a way, it's been good that they knew they weren't going to have her at all this season.
Then like a mid-season injury.
But again, someone that you'd love to have, especially in this matchup. Caitlin Clark's a powerhouse. Speaking of other powerhouse head coach is now the.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Chargers. I was like,
no, not yet. Someday. A powerhouse head coach in Jim Harbaugh is now the head coach of my NFL team. And this is a long time coming. I was not shocked by this news. We've kind of We've kind of known in some circles the Chargers were sharing all of the coaches, all of the GMs that I love the transparency. It was very nice, but within some of the circles, the meetings were going long. Michigan meetings weren't going well. And ultimately They gave up the best offer. They have the LA facilities. They have the young quarterback. They have a talented roster that's underperformed, and I know Jim Harbaugh loves to rebuild.
I mean, yeah, the roster's talented, but it's also old.
It's old. Like, it has been a complete, and I'll touch on this in a bit, it's been a complete waste of potential all-pro players over the last decade of the amount of guys I have seen come in through this program. I say program like it's college. Through this team that have flamed out and never seen any long-term success because of coaching. Jim Harbaugh is the man for that job.
Yeah, I mean, I fully believe that he can bring talent to this team. They're definitely, I mean, probably not next year, but in the years to come, could rival the Chiefs easily. Herbert's a talented enough quarterback. He has honestly sometimes as much arm talent as Patrick Mahomes when you watch him. I mean, you saw how he was a couple years ago against the Raiders when they were trying to make that playoff push. Weren't quite able to get it done. But, I mean, yeah, Herbert is talented. I don't want to say he's better than Tua because I'm a Dolphins fan, but he probably is. We didn't know. We did not make the wrong decision drafting Tua. We made the right decision.
Neither of them has won a playoff game yet. So
Tua's gotten closer.
Has he?
We would have beat the Bills last year if we had Tua.
That's an interesting take. We
would have.
We would have beat the Jaguars if we had Jim Harbaugh as our head coach and not Brandon Staley, who is one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen.
And he kept his job for way too long.
And yep, this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. This is why it's such big news to me. Like, okay, even if Jim Harbaugh doesn't work out, what this says to me is that the organization is finally bought into their players, their fans, their team. Because over the last decade and a half of me being a fan, they've made the organization and ownership has made it abundantly clear time and time again that they just don't care about being great. They just want to be okay. They just want to be serviceable.
They want to be flashy. Philip Rivers, flashy.
Yeah, but they've never supplemented the talent on their roster or the potential of their players with a good head coach. During my time, I've seen 2 playoff wins in my time of being a Chargers fan.
I haven't seen a single one as a Dolphins fan, so you don't have it too bad.
You also haven't had 2 potentially, I won't say Hall of Fame, but like upper echelon quarterbacks.
Philip Rivers might make Hall of Fame.
He might. I hope he does, but he never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't, but he probably will.
So it's been so frustrating me. You go from 3 back-to-back times, a coordinator from a team that had talent, and the coordinator didn't show much, but they showed some, and they took a chance on him, and it didn't work out. They went from Mike McCoy, who they got from the Broncos, had a couple nice years as offensive coordinator. They go Anthony Lynn, couple nice years with the Bills. Brandon Staley, 1 nice year with the Rams, with arguably one of the most talented defenses we've ever seen.
Yeah.
With Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on the same sideline. He gets 1 year as the defensive coordinator and gets hired. And all 3 of them, they didn't move off any of them fast enough. They waited 1 more year after. Brandon Staley should have been out the door after that playoff win. That team was demoralized, or the playoff choke against the Jaguars. That team was demoralized.
I'm surprised he didn't get
team was completely demoralized. The culture was ruined after that game, especially all the narrative all offseason about how much they choked. It was everything. They kept him around for 1 more year. Clearly didn't work out. I was not expecting them to make this move because I've never seen this ownership group say, hey, we're going to go out and get the biggest name out there, the best guy out there for the job. This is a rebuilder. We talk about Rule being a rebuilder all the time. We can talk about the Big Ten implications as well with this, but talk about Rule being a rebuilder every step he's gone. Jim Harbaugh has done that just at a bigger scale, in my opinion. What he's been able to do originally at San Diego, then he goes to Stanford, makes them into a powerhouse. Stanford hasn't done a thing since he's left, pretty much. He had some, carryover from some of his players that he brought in there with David Shaw. Goes to the 49ers. They didn't have a winning season for nearly a decade. He brings Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl 3 straight seasons that right away when he got there. So like you said, I expect some turnover time. I don't expect him to be great right away. But he's a winner every step of the way. It took a while at Michigan. He got over the hump. There's a lot of accusations. My whole family's from Michigan. I grew up a Michigan fan. A lot of accusations out there. We won't dive into them, but whether or not he's fleeing Michigan because he knows the hammer's coming down or not, he's a head coach of my favorite NFL team now, and I couldn't be more excited just because of how much it means to the fan base to see finally, we got a great quarterback who, in my opinion, is top 5 in the league. We've got, some
top
age,
5.
some age. We can get into this whole debate later, but I believe he's top 5 in the league, and I don't think there's much of an argument outside of that. Maybe that's just my bias, but
it is.
I think without the only argument against him is that he doesn't have the wins. In my opinion, the reason he doesn't have the wins is because he's not had a good coach ever. He's had 4 different offensive coordinators. I'm more than excited. Don't have any expectations for year 1, but he's a builder. He's a leader. He's a leader of men, someone who's respected, but also liked. I've never heard a player not like Jim Harbaugh. He's a very controversial figure in the media, but everyone that's played under him loves him. I was listening to Aiden Hutchinson talk on Amon Raz's podcast the other day just about how much of a leader and a culture builder he is. That is exactly what Los Angeles needs, because we've been the butt of every single joke I've ever seen. Can't fill the stands. Miami can't fill the stands either. Do we say they don't have any fans? I don't know, whatever. But I'm excited for this. Now, Big Ten implications. The door's more open than it's been.
I mean, not really, because you got all these other great teams coming in. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's just as open. One more thing I want to touch on. The Chargers social media team, they should all get a raise.
Good.
They should all get a raise. I knew they were good when what was it? It was against the Raiders when they finally scored. The caption was just, "We scored." And
they're incredible.
That tweet got like 8 million views or whatever. That was, yeah.
I was
First
looking
of
at the
all,
impressions they got. I mean, upwards of 50 million impressions on all the Jim Harbaugh tweets.
Yeah. I mean, they should all get raises.
They changed their profile picture to the meme
Yeah.
of his face just zoomed into the ref cam.
Yeah.
They had so much stuff ready to go. The coolest thing about that is the social media team doesn't know anything about the inner workings of the team. They had all that ready to go, even if he wasn't hired. So I can't even imagine the amount of hours and hours and hours they had to put in. And if they would have just gone and hired, some coordinator from a team, just like we're seeing a bunch of the other teams do,
like Falcons.
Right. Like, okay, that might work, but it's not
Probably
a home run
not.
hire.
No.
That was what I was expecting the Chargers to do, to be completely honest. Go get a guy that's been solid for a couple years at a good team. The Falcons did it. The Titans did it. Panthers did it. Like, some solid coordinators that you give them a chance. Don't spend big bucks. But no, they went in and got Jim Harbaugh. Social media team had to be feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little surprised that it was I mean, I wasn't surprised that it was Chargers because, all the news that was coming out, but just thinking about it, I mean, I feel like the Falcons job, just because it's the NFC South, terrible division, so wide open. Harbaugh could have easily, went in there year 1 and probably made him a playoff team.
I honestly think it's the quarterback.
Probably.
They don't have the quarterback figured out. I thought the Falcons should have hired Belichick, but clearly either one of those sides didn't really want that. And maybe we
don't know what Belichick wants.
We don't know. We will never know what he wants. I think the Chargers was the best job opening for a couple of reasons. First of all, top 5 draft pick. So there's any combination of Rome Odunze, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors there for a weapon for Justin Herbert. California, it's nice. He will bring them to relevancy. I know a lot of people talk about how, Chargers don't have a lot of fans. People are going to tune in for Jim Harbaugh. He is that big of a name. So I'm not sure he was necessarily worried about that. And then the Falcons.
I'm surprised that job didn't get more attraction. Like, Arthur Smith did such a terrible job, and yet they almost won the division.
Yeah. They've got some talented pieces. I think it's just such a quarterback-driven league that it's really, and I think probably the Chargers spent a lot of money on him.
Yeah. Something
he also
Falcons
played for the Chargers back in the day.
Yeah, that might have had something.
He has a relationship with the Spanos family. He's been there. He's, San Diego. He coached there for many years, University of San Diego. He's coached in California before. So in my eyes, it makes sense. We get the Har Bowl this next season, Ravens versus Chargers. That's going to be fun. He just wants to beat his brother. There's all the reasons, he's just fleeing the NCAA. He wants the money. I genuinely think he is still pissed off about losing the Super Bowl to his little brother, that he wants to go back and do it again.
And now he's seen his brother maybe win another Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Or it honestly wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs win it either. Because talk about the division, though. Reed, Peyton, Harbaugh, those are 3 legends of the sport. And then you got Antonio Pierce.
Who everyone in that Raiders
they love
room
him.
love him.
They love him.
Which, I mean, that's half the battle, though.
It
The
is half
players
the
have to
battle.
be bought into it.
We'll see. He doesn't have a quarterback.
I mean,
Unless you think Aiden
that's
O'Connell's the
why
guy.
it's gonna be tough for Raiders. But like, the big thing, I mean, I would rather have a team bought into the coach than have a guy like Sean Payton win the teams. Like the
That's
Broncos,
fair.
they're not bought into this. Like they're not bought into Sean Payton.
Yeah, but I think he'll probably bring it.
He'll get it.
He'll bring his players in that are going to buy into him.
Yeah.
And I think Antonio Pierce is a great guy, great coach. They hired Tom Telesco, the Chargers' former GM, the same GM that hired Brandon Staley and pretty much wasted a lot of guys' careers. They call him Coupon Tom because he doesn't like to spend money in free agency. He doesn't like to make deals at the trade deadline. Raiders love to pick up our scraps. That's all I'm going to say.
We got to throw it to break. When we come back, we'll probably talk a little bit more of the Big Ten implications of Harbaugh leaving Michigan. Didn't really touch on that, so we'll do that. It's going to be really short last break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
If your home heating system is making strange noises or just doesn't work like it should, call your friends at Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Sign up for Bryant's exclusive ESP service protection plan. You'll get twice annual complete and thorough service on all brands, and you'll never pay overtime charges on evenings, weekends, or holidays. Schedule your heating check today and ask about Bryant's ESP plan to save money. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
'Tis the season to give the gift of good times. Save up to $3,500 on select models or receive promotional financing discounts on qualified vehicle purchases. With deals on KX Youth motorcycles and KFX Youth ATVs, TRX side-by-sides, and more, there's no shortage of savings and good times to be had by the whole crew. Don't miss the 'Tis the Season sales event. Visit Elway Power Sports of Lincoln today. Check them out at elwaypslincoln.com for more detail.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
In a world where quality tools make the dream work, let Sunbelt Rentals be your unseen team member. Shine bright with our top-notch equipment, dependable for any project size. Witness the difference with tool rental in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's more than just a tool, it's your companion for the perfect job. With Sunbelt Rentals, you're never alone in your project journey. Brighter tasks, better results. Sunbelt Rentals, tools that empower you.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 million bracket challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Enton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back for one more break with me and Joseph. I'm Ben Droz, one of the sports writers at the Daily Nebraskan, joined here by Joseph Meyer, the senior sports editor at the Daily Nebraskan. We have just one more segment, then we're out of here. Got to get it out around, before tomorrow. So we're only going to talk a little bit longer, but I want to talk a little bit more about Harbaugh leaving Michigan. We talked about what it meant for the Chargers, him going there. I want to talk more about him leaving Michigan. Do you feel like this is really going to hurt Michigan's chances of, really being one of the elite teams in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I don't know how it couldn't. I think he has completely changed the culture there. The Brady Hoke days were so dark for all of my family who was Michigan fans. Like, it was just a bad time. It was very similar to the, last decade for Nebraska, and Jim Harbaugh built a culture there, similarly to what we're seeing Matt Rule do here so far. It took a while for them to get to that national championship level, but they did. So I think they're absolutely losing it. Do I think everyone's going to jump the ship like we're kind of seeing at Alabama to an effect, or, at Washington where everyone's jumping the ship? No, because I think it seems like they're going to promote Sherrone Moore, who is very capable. We've seen him in the big moments. The suspension oddly worked out for Michigan, where Sherrone Moore has been the acting head coach against Penn State, Ohio State. Those pretty big games. Pretty big games. So obviously it's going to hurt, but their window's still open. Now, there's a lot of talent in the Big Ten, so I don't think that they're going to be winning the Big Ten, but still could possibly be a playoff team with this new 12-team format. What do you think?
I think it's going to hurt him more than people think. I think the writing was kind of on the wall that, he was going to leave. I feel like with that, Alabama situation, I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere that Saban, was leaving. So I feel like that's kind of why more players are jumping ship there. I feel like players kind of knew when they won that national championship. I feel like you can kind of get a feel.
And they're losing a lot of players.
Yeah. So, again, with him, when Harbaugh was suspended, they know they have a guy in house that, can do a good enough job. Probably won't. He's not Harbaugh.
No.
So, they're definitely not going to be winning a national championship again next year, probably. But, they're still going to be one of the elite Big Ten teams, at least this upcoming year. I think it more hurt. I don't think it's going to hurt them in the short term. It's going to be more like, 3 years from now when they're trying to recruit. We're trying to recruit for 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Trying to bring freshmen in. They're probably going to have a harder time recruiting now that Harbaugh's gone.
For sure. You want to play with Harbaugh. You want to sign up for his, resume. Like we've talked about, he has an incredible resume and you want to be part of that. That's what so many of these guys did. That's what JJ McCarthy did. Like that's why JJ McCarthy came to Michigan, is because of Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And as Jim Harbaugh says, JJ McCarthy is the best quarterback in Michigan history. People can debate that. That's what Jim Harbaugh says. They won a national title. So McCarthy's gone. A lot of these guys are gone. Blake Corum's out.
Mm-hmm.
That recruiting class was something special. There's kind of like 2 recruiting classes because of the COVID year. But these graduating guys and the guys that are leaving for the draft, such a special unit. I think they all decided last offseason when they lost to TCU, like, we're going to run it back and we're going to run it back hard. And Harbaugh was bought into that. And I think in the back of their heads, they probably knew, hey, Harbaugh wants to go win a Super Bowl. Let's get him a national championship on our last year here. We'll all go our separate ways, but everyone will remember this season for what it was.
Yeah.
And it was a special one.
Yeah. Obviously it worked running it back. They had the talent. It was clear from day one of the college football season this year that they had the talent. In my opinion, they were just far and above like the best team in college football, in my opinion. Like when I saw the playoff format, even before they picked, the 4 teams for the playoffs, it was kind of like, it's going to be Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They stomped the Huskers here in Lincoln. Like,
you could just tell. I know it's Nebraska. Nebraska is not anywhere near national contender yet.
But they were competitive in every game.
I know.
Much, except that one.
I get that the Alabama game was close, but like Michigan was just far and away the best team in the nation this year. So, Harbaugh got what he wanted, won the national championship. He's now going for something even bigger, Super Bowl. It's probably going to take him just as long to get that maybe in the NFL, but we'll see.
I'll take a playoff win.
You sound like Husker fans just wanting.
I'll take a playoff win.
Not even a bowl game win. They just want to make a bowl game.
I'll take a playoff win. That's all I need.
I know. That's what the Dolphins need too. But with that, we're going to wrap up the show. Again, you're not going to see our faces until next week. Not doing the show on Friday. So schedule Monday through Thursday, 11 to 12. That's when you see us. So you're not going to see us again until Monday. But again, games on Saturday. Make sure you watch them.
It'll be fun.
There'll be really important games for the Husker men's and women's teams. Harbaugh going to the Chargers. It'll definitely help Nebraska's chances of maybe winning the Big Ten. It's got to help. It's not going to hurt.
It can't get any worse.
Yeah, definitely can't get any worse. Yeah, Rule. I feel like Rule can definitely build something special at Nebraska, and this is kind of one of the first steps. That's like, okay, maybe the door's opening up a little bit.
Top dog's out.
Yeah, but with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Until next time, see ya.
Peace.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
As the chief buffet officer here at Pizza Ranch, I get all kinds of buffet questions. Here's one from Cole.
Is there a real cactus in your cactus bread?
Great question, Cole. No, there is no cactus in our cactus bread, just sweet cinnamony streusel. It's on our buffet every day, along with pizza, chicken, ice cream, and all your other favorites. Even better, at least for your parents, kids eat free on Tuesday nights. And don't worry, Cole, there's no coal in our coleslaw either.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.